when you brought it up, when you said the whole nigger thing.
Yeah.
Now I got my take on it, but I want to hear you hear what you think about it. Like with an ER, with an A, like how can I say this? I don't see everything that goes on this side of YouTube. Like I'm in a tunnel vision. But when I heard about that, I didn't jump up like disappointed or anything because I have some knowledge about enough knowledge about the N-words to where it's like this is not gonna piss me off like how JP got pissed off that one Sunday morning. But what happened? What was that conversation about that sparked that everybody's facial expression?
So the thing is, this is my first time on YouTube, right? It's like I'm a weekend. And I dropped the N-word on YouTube and I thought that was going to cause like a strike or a ban or something. So that's why my face was like, oh, but it's not like I don't say the word. Like if I'm talking, just like I did with J Prince, that's how I am. Just like Chaotic was just now with Tommy, that's how I am. If I'm talking about you specifically and I'm talking about you in that way, that's what I'm saying. But I didn't know what was going to happen with me saying it on YouTube. So I was a little like, oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Like, but everybody else made it like seem like, oh, it's the worst thing in the world. So I was like, it's very interesting when these black men say nigger on their channel. Nobody bats an eye. Nobody freaks out. Nobody spins around. Nobody throws a chair. Nobody does any of these things.
They do it. It's a problem.
It's okay when they do it. And then I was like, okay, is it a problem because my man is white? And I was like, at the end of the day, my kids are black. I'm black.
Right.
I don't know what you want me to say. Like, one white man doesn't change my blackness. So I was like, I'm not going to deal with them trying to tell me what I can and can't say because I know we all say it. That's where I got it from. They're like, oh, does he call you that while he's fucking you? Like, that's the craziest shit I've ever fucking heard. Why would he call me that ever? It's not fitting. When I called J Prince that, I meant that.
Yeah. Hold on. But that's the part that you said because I'm not, because how can I say this? I'm not into the whole, if you want to interrupt your day, there should be no problem and nobody, and I mean nobody, should, what's what I'm looking for, should judge you for that. Because at the end of the day, there's other things worse than interracial dating. Now, I will say is, if there's culture to be learned, it will behoove you to learn the culture because you don't want to accidentally offend somebody. So you learn his culture, he learns your culture.
Exactly. And that's how we communicate very well. If things are going on in society, we talk about it together. And we get each other's take on it. And I give him my perspective and the black perspective. And it's new to him, honestly, but he's very receptive to it. So it's like, okay, it's not like he's like fighting me tooth and nail every time I say something. Then we wouldn't be able to make it work. But he's just like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy. I wish there was something we could do. What do you want to do? Nothing about this. I'm not doing anything about this. This, I feel, is fake outrage. Like, I'll tell him the things that I think have no merit. Even though some people would argue that they do. If I don't think it does, I'm not going to have my man riding for it. That's just not how I am.
No, I get that. And when you said the N-word, so you thought you were just violating a community guideline or something?
Yes, in like a show thing. Like, so I was like, oh, shoot, they're live. I don't know what this means. But I know, like, watching other people's lives, they're like, oh, you got to watch what you say because YouTube will get you. So I was like, oh, shoot, they're not going to let me back up here. Like, a lot was going through my head. Like, you done messed up.
And that's why I say you're a breakout star. Ladies and gentlemen, all this happened within the course of less than 4 weeks.
It was like a week.
Less than 4 weeks.
A week in. It was so crazy.
It was, and with all the things, with all the conversations that you have partaken in, and all the things, all the notable things you have done, I'm thinking like, how many months passed by? Not one yet. It has not been 30 days yet.
Not been 30 days. It has not.
That is amazing. But with the N-word, although it is cringy to hear the ER, this is what I said on that one stream that we was all on. Up north, you're going to hear the ER. Down south, you're going to hear the A. And what I mean by that is those outside of the black community. Like, you're not going to hear a white person, at least back from my day, with how the climate change might be, the lines might be a little bit blurred. You're going to hear people down south. When I'm talking about outside the black community, you're going to hear nigga. When you go up north, you're going to hear nigga. So I tell people, whether it's the ER or it's the A, it doesn't make a damn difference. Because a lot of people say, we take control of that word. We took the blood out of that word, so that way we can say it. And I would always tell them, is you did, and I want to hear your take on this. If black people did a good job of taking ownership of the N-word and ratifying or cleansing it to where it can be used, how come the poorest white person can say it and it's still a dagger to one's chest? What's your take on that?
I think even when I'm saying it most of the time, I'm not saying it to like uplift you, like, oh my nigga. Like, if I'm saying nigga, it's because you're doing something stupid. Like,
right,
sir. It's not like in an uplifting way. So either way, people are still using it, whether it's the A or the ER, in a derogatory way. We're just used to roasting each other. We're used to being derogatory towards each other. So it's acceptable in our community. It's acceptable in the black community to insult each other in jest. And we all have to just be okay with it because we're just joking and blah, 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 blah. It's very normal, right? So it's not a big deal that someone's saying nigga to you. The ER situation with the whites, I think is, I know it's going to sound terrible, but I think it's fake outrage. I think there are actual people that are actual racists that are actually walking around living their lives. You see them, you hear about the things they've done, and they're still walking around. That isn't the same as somebody saying the ER. They're talking about a ER. Just like people were throwing the coon word around like candy this week. It was everybody that agrees with Pearl is a coon, right?
Right.
All right, cool. So if that's the energy you got about that word, you're not saying that in an uplifting way. So if a white person says it, they're not saying it any different from you. You're being fake outraged right now about them saying it when they're not saying all black people are. Just like you aren't saying all black people are. And they try to say, oh, they don't realize the difference. People aren't idiots. They do realize the difference if you explain it to them. It's not rocket science. So it's like, either way, they can tell the context that we use it in and use it the same way. If they started saying, if Pearlie was like, oh, they called everybody that agreed with me a coon, and that really hurt my feelings, they would be like, she said the C word. She didn't blank it out. She said coon. Clip it. She's canceled. Like, that's the energy they're giving right now. And it's just like,
it's stupid. Like,
it's stupid.
And so when it comes to people using the raccoon word, what they need to understand is what is the definition of a raccoon? It's a negative stereotype of black people. That's the basic definition of what a raccoon is. So now, while they say your green people are siding with Pearl, keep in mind the word raccoon can better describe some of your actors, entertainers, rappers, singers, people in your community, people on your block. And you want to keep it real, because